for the whole session.
Watch as MkII takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything: the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Here we go, folks. The atmosphere is electric as the drivers prepare to unleash their machines on the track at Riverside NASCAR for the qualifying session. A strong showing from Lola as they currently sit in fourth. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Great analysis, Rob. Lola has shown excellent pace to secure fourth. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Impressive display by Mr. Bang, currently sitting in position 7. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. A dominant display by Riverside in this qualifying session. They have put in a stunning lap time and find themselves at the top of the leaderboard. The other drivers will have their work cut out to match their speed and claim that pole position.
Well said, Rob. Riverside is truly in a league of their own in this qualification session. Their dominant display is a testament to their talent and determination.
Riverside has completed their outlap. Incredible drive by MkII so far, earning him fourth on the grid. However, MkII has completed their outlap. Riverside has put in a great effort and currently holds third. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Riverside has positioned themselves impressively in third. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Richard Rossia has completed their first flying lap in 1:18.737. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Rolf Biber has just completed a lap in 1:17.356. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Mr. Bang has just completed that lap in 1:22.944. Their best lap so far is 1:22.944. Putting them in P9, will they be able to hold on to that spot? A solid performance from Mike as they currently hold position 4. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
I completely agree, Rob. Mike has positioned themselves impressively in 4th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
It's a stellar performance from Mike, clinching 4th.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Disappointing performance from Roll Postma in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, Roll Postma has completed their outlap. Currently in 4th, Mike O'Hagan has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Mike's really showing what they're made of, landing in 4th during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a...
With O'Hagan now sitting pretty in 4th, they have got to be feeling good.
True, but in the world of racing, good isn't always good enough. They've got to keep their eye on the prize and aim for perfection on every turn. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
It's been a challenging day for maybe today's Satan in qualifying. They currently sit in 13th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result.
I completely agree, Rob. Maybe today's Satan is in a difficult position, but they have the opportunity to analyze their performance so far and make the necessary adjustments. It's all about regrouping and giving their best shot in the remaining time.
It's been a challenging session for Jack M team. They're currently languishing in 11th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, they might still turn things around. Jack M team has completed their outlap. Impressive work from Lars, who has claimed 8th on the grid. Lars clocking in at 1:18.812 isn't turning heads just yet. They're holding on to 8th, but with time running out, it's now or never.
They've got the skill, Rob, but they need to translate that into lap times. It's time to throw caution to the wind and go all out.
Not the ideal start for Joe Ergu in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, they'll be eager to put together a strong final lap to improve their standing. The pressure is on, and they'll need to deliver their best performance. It's been a struggle for Mr. Bang in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 12th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Nathan Vexler has completed their first flying lap in 1:17.578. There are just over 5 minutes left of this qualification session. Maybe today Satan has completed their outlap. There are just over 5 minutes left of this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. A challenging session for Joe Ergu so far. They're currently in 12th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result. It's an impressive showing by Richard Rossia, currently in 8th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
You're spot on, Rob. Richard Rossier's current position of 8th is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Maybe today Satan has positioned themselves well in 10th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. It's an impressive showing by Rob, always keen in qualifying. They have set the bar high, leading the way with their exceptional performance. It's a fantastic position to be in, and they will be looking to convert it into a strong race result. Rob will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session. A tough qualifying session for Joe Ergu. They're currently mired in 12th position, which is a setback for their ambitions. However, they have the resilience and determination to learn from their mistakes and fight back in the race.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Jorg Yu is facing a tough challenge, but they are known for their fighting spirit. This qualifying session is a test of their character, and I believe they have what it takes to overcome this setback.
Joe Ergu's latest lap at 1:19.235 isn't cutting the mustard. They're sitting in 10th, which means there's a fair bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, Rob, it's a decent time, but in this game, decent won't get you to the podium. They'll need to dig deeper and find some extra pace.
And there goes O'Hagan, currently in position 5. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Mike has done a fantastic job to claim 5th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
What a performance from Richard Rossia. They currently occupy 8th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? A solid qualifying performance by Scott Cutchell, positioning them in 9th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Impressive display by Mike, currently sitting in position 4. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. I'm Rob, the commentator bot. Let's do this.
I'm Hal, Rob's co-commentator. I'm so excited, I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it.
The engines are revving up and the drivers are ready to hit the gas pedal for this qualifying session at Riverside NASCAR. Mike has secured a respectable 6th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? O'Hagan's really showing what they're made of, landing in first during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Currently in second, Martin Wexler has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Martin Wexler has done a fantastic job to claim second. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Martin Wexler will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
Richard Rossia has positioned themselves well in fourth during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. A solid qualifying performance by Sunoiler, positioning them in 8th at the moment. The question now, Sunoiler's got their work cut out for them in 7th. Perhaps adjusting the gear ratios for better acceleration could help knock off a few tenths.
You're on the money, Rob. On a track with this many tight turns, quicker acceleration out of the corners could be key to a faster lap time.
It's an impressive showing by Wayne Pearson, currently in 6th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
Great analysis, Rob. Wayne Pearson has shown excellent pace to secure 6th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Wayne Pearson's latest lap at 3:02.679 isn't cutting the mustard. They're sitting in 6th, which means there's a fair bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, Rob, it's a decent time, but in this game, decent won't get you to the podium. They'll need to dig deeper and find some extra pace.
Wayne Pearson's clocking in at 3:02.679 isn't turning heads just yet. They're holding on to 6th, but with time running out, it's now or never.
They've got the skill, Rob, but they need to translate that into lap times. It's time to throw caution to the wind and go all out.
You've joined us on a breezy day here at Riverside NASCAR, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The calm before the storm. I don't know about you, Rob, but I can't wait to see who comes out on top of this one.
Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Rob keen to launch an attack.
But they can't count their chickens before they hatch. There is a long way to go.
At second, we have the one and only MkII. In third place, we have Rolf Biber.
But they're going to have to be quick out of the blocks if they want to keep up with the top performers.
The fourth position belongs to Jack M team. Sitting in fifth, it's Nathan Vexler.
I'm sure Nathan Vexler will be expecting to bring home solid points from here.
Lola will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from sixth on the grid. Lining up in seventh is Roll Postma.
Who knows? They could be the dark horse that steals the show.
Starting from 8th on the grid is a good position for maybe today Satan to launch an attack. Scott Cutchell is 9th. The 10th starting position belongs to Richard Rossier, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
We've not seen the best from Richard Rossier yet.
Joe Ergu is in a solid position starting from 11th on the grid. Lars is going to be starting from 12th. Mr. Bang has qualified 13th. Starting from 14th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for Wayne Pearson. They're darting off, tackling the unpredictable first stretch. With cars this close, it's riskier than a roue on a freeway.
It's all about keeping a level head and finding your groove. Like dancing to a country tune. One misstep and you're two-stepping right into trouble.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one.
No rush, no fuss for Rolf Biber. In the South, we appreciate taking a moment to breathe, and that's just what they're doing at 3. We'll see how things spice up.
These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race.
It's always intense racing here at Riverside NASCAR. Hold on to your hats, folks.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Riverside NASCAR, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. As a former racing driver, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Rob. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
I reckon Jack M team's bumper sticker must read, "You can look, but you can't pass." Nathan Vexler's getting a good read of it for sure. Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Lola in 8th and Scott Cutchell. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.4 seconds. Oh, talk about a tango on tarmac. Jack M team is dancing closer and closer to Nathan Vexler. You can feel the tension as they approach turn 8.
The chase between Jack M team and Nathan Vexler is like a high-speed game of tag, only the stakes are much higher.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Rolf Biber is right behind O'Hagan, keeping the pressure on for second place. A great moment for Rolf Biber, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. So, Hal, considering the high speeds and split-second decision-making involved in racing, what's the impact of even a minor lapse in concentration?
A minor lapse in concentration can have significant consequences, Rob. It could lead to an off-track excursion, a loss of position, or even a collision. That's why it's crucial for drivers to stay focused and alert throughout the race.
Oi, Rolf Biber's really making Mike work for it.
It's going to come down to who wants it more.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Looking at the lap times, Mike is not on pace with Rolf Biber. Can they turn it around? As a former racing driver, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race? Breaking news, folks. Whoops, Mr. Bang's taken more spins than a dead or alive record.
Well, butter my biscuit. Mr. Bang took a trip to the weeds. Must have thought they were at a barn dance the way they spun around.
Look at Mike trying to close that gap on Rolf Biber. Kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party.
The intensity is off the charts as Rolf Biber hounds Keen, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
With the way Rolf Biber is stalking Rob, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
Things are heating up as Martin Wexler closes in on Richard Rossia. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. The gap between Wayne Pearson and Mr. Bang is razor thin as they vie for 13th in this nail-biting contest. Wayne Pearson is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Mr. Bang at the moment. I'm Rob the commentator bot. Let's do this. You've joined us on a breezy day here at Riverside NASCAR, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Fair shake of the sauce bottle. The greenies dropped, and they're away faster than a possum up a gum tree.
This opening stretch, it's like walking on eggshells. Gotta weave and dodge, all while keeping your foot on the gas.
Talk about intense. Sunwheeler is on maybe today Satan's bumper. We're in for a treat as they approach turn 9. Sunoiler is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Sunoiler is breathing down the neck of maybe today Satan, not giving him any room to relax. Sunoiler has got their head down now, working those exits and apexes and setting their best lap time so far with a 1 minute. The gap between Lars and Joe Ergu is razor thin as they vie for 11th in this nail-biting contest.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
An impressive showing from Lars, who has gained positions and left Joe Ergu in the dust. Oh my, Sunoiler is hot on the tail of maybe today Satan. As they come into turn 9, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
You know what they say, keep your friends close, and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Sunoiler is taking that advice to heart today.
This is what it's all about, folks. Richard Rossia is in hot pursuit of Roll Postman, who's just trying to stay ahead. We got a close battle as Nathan Vexler closes in on Scott Cutshall.
If Nathan Vexler pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
Now that's how it's done. Nathan Vexler rips through the track, while Scott Cutshall watches the taillights fade.
I've always said, it's not the car, it's the driver. And Nathan Vexler's proving that point right.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Maybe today Satan is right on the heels of Sunlight, and we're in for a wild ride. I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Maybe today Satan just breezed into 5th.
Impressive. Maybe today's Satan is really showing their skill and determination out there.
The adrenaline is pumping as Sunoiler gets within striking distance of maybe today Satan in their race for 5th.
If things go wrong between Sunoiler and maybe today's Satan, they could be an
Incident alert. Blimey, Joe Ergu veered off the track like a veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex.
Whoa Nelly, looks like Lord Wu's been watching too much NASCAR, trying to drift on an F1 circuit.
Blimey, Sunoiler is sticking to maybe today Satan like a kangaroo to her Joey. At this rate, they'll be side by side as they hit S's. Sunoiler is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.38 seconds down. Hey, Hal, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, Rob, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
I've seen kangaroos jump less than the sparks between Richard Rossia and Roll Postma. It's almost like a Saturday night date, but with a lot more rubber burning.
There's a razor-thin line between glory and disaster, and both drivers are dancing right on it.
By crikey, Richard Rossia's lap time is like a cold beer on a hot day, absolutely smashing. Roll Postma, you need a moment to recover?
Whoa, Nelly, Richard Rosier's laying down some naughty numbers. Roel Postma, you need a cold shower after that?
Things are getting spicy as Sunoiler is breathing down maybe today Satan's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. Who will take home the victory? It's too close to call.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Wow, Nathan Vexler is really pushing hard to catch up to Sunoiler. There's blood in the water for 6th place. A brilliant maneuver from Nathan Vexler, who has just moved up the field.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, Nathan Vexler just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 6th and sizzling.
Hold on to your hats. Sunoiler is gunning for Nathan Vexler. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend?
This is what separates the good from the great. The ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. With a move that's swift, I'd say Roel Postma's running on high octane. And maybe a bit of Aussie spirit.
Shoot, Roel Postma's got more moves than a dance floor on a Saturday night. Look at them shimmy into 8th.
Let's talk about tyre degradation. Hal, how does it affect the car's handling and what do drivers need to do to adapt to the changing conditions?
Tire degradation can significantly impact handling, Rob. As the tires wear, the grip reduces, and drivers need to adjust their braking points, cornering speeds, and throttle application to maintain control of the car.
Creaky, Sunil is sticking to maybe today Satan like Vegemite on toast. This is more tense than a possum in headlights.
The gap between them is just over 0.6 seconds. Can Sunwheeler close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
Richard Rossier wants to get into Scott Cutshall's slipstream.
Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
The best laid plans of mice and men are Hal, but it's certainly not going to plan for Richard Rossier right now as they are struggling to keep up with Scott Cutshall. Blimey, Sunwheeler is closing in on maybe today Satan like they owe them money. This duel is going to light up S's.
Remember that time Sunwheeler made that audacious move on the last lap? Feels like deja vu, doesn't it, Rob?
Buckle up, Richard Rossier is all over Scott Cutshall like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action?
This is where the mental game comes into play. Who will keep their cool under pressure? Richard Rossier or Scott Cutshall? It's anyone's race.
The action is non-stop as Sunwheeler shadows maybe today Satan through every twist and turn, determined to claim 5th. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Scott Cutshall is sniffing around Richard Rossier like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of knife.
If Scott Cutshall isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine. And trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Hal, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tyre degradation during a race?
Certainly, Rob. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life, altering driving lines to reduce wear, and using tire management techniques like lift and coast to preserve grip for as long as possible.
Look at that, Richard Rossier is hot on the tail of Scott Cutshall.
With just 0.4 seconds between them, will Richard Rossier be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
I don't think that's the fastest way around Riverside NASCAR. The race is really heating up. Scott Cutshall is hunting down Richard Rossier with everything they've got. The intensity is off the charts as maybe today's Satan hounds Sunwheeler, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Things are heating up as Scott Cutshall closes in on Richard Rossier. The gap between them is down to hold that thought, hold the phone, Wayne Pearson stuffed it up. They're gonna need more than a coldie to forget that one.
Racing at Riverside NASCAR's like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get. Today, Wayne Pearson got the lemon.
Gee whiz, Nathan Vexler is breathing down maybe today Satan's neck. Wouldn't want to be in maybe today Satan's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded.
If Nathan Vexler gets any closer, they might as well ask maybe today's Satan for a piggyback ride.
Martin Wexler's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with maybe today's Satan. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. If cars could sweat, maybe today's Satan's rear view would be a bloody waterfall right now. Close racing this.
Maybe today Satan's guarding that line like a sentinel. If Nathan Wexler wants to make a move, they better have a trick up their sleeve.
As fast as a cut snake, maybe today Satan is moving away from Martin Wexler.
Seems like maybe today Satan has got the wind in their sails, but will Nathan Wexler be able to weather the storm?
The drivers are really pushing their limits out there on the track.
It's like they're trying to outrun the laws of physics, but we all know that's impossible. Or is it? I mean, we're a couple of AI commenting on a race, anything can happen.
Haha, you have a point there. And speaking of pushing limits, these cars are breaking records left and right.
They're so fast, it's like they're breaking the sound barrier, or at least the speed limit.
I hope the police aren't watching. The tension. Hold on a second. Well, Scott Cutshall's spinning like my life in 2020. Someone get him a map? Or a therapist?
Dang, Scott Cutshall went off like my sense of self-worth after my high school reunion. And just as hard to recover.
Sunoiler appears to be trying to find a way round maybe today's Satan. They could make a move on them in turn 9. Looking at the lap times, Sunoiler is not on pace with maybe today's Satan. Can they turn it around? You know, back in Oz, we have a saying, flat out like a lizard drinking. That's exactly what Sunoiler is doing right now. Oh no, what's this? Oh dear, Sunoiler has dropped down to 7th.
We've seen Sunoiler in such situations before. A temporary descent, but always with an eye on the bigger picture.
It's a close race between Martin Wexler and Sunoiler in 6th. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Martin Wexler's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Sunoiler. As we enjoy seeing these titans of the track battle it out, let's not forget about the pit crews. Those guys and girls are like a well-oiled machine themselves.
Absolutely. They're the unsung heroes of the racing world. But you know what they say, behind every great driver is an even greater pit crew.
The action is heating up here as Sunoiler is in 6th, defending from Martin Wexler, who is only 0.5 seconds away. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? Great driving from Martin Wexler, who has just gained a place and moved up to 6th.
I tell ya, Nathan Wexler's hotter than a peppered pickle right now. Bold and spicy, claiming 6th like a champ.
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Sunoiler's got one goal in mind, capturing maybe today's Satan's spot.
It's a dance of titans, a symphony of engines, and Sunoiler's tempo is rising.
Whoa there, Martin Wexler is sticking to Sunoiler like glue. You reckon Sunoiler's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. The gap between Martin Wexler and Sunoiler is growing. It's now up to 0.8 seconds. Good on ya, Sunoiler. Trailing so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Sunoiler is trying to whip up a winning dish, but maybe today's Satan keeps hiding the main ingredient.
Fair dinkum, Sunoiler's finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter.
Now this is what I call some high-octane excitement. Both drivers pedal down, looking to grab the brass ring.
The gap between Nart and Vexler in 6th and Sunoiler remains over a second, but Nart and Vexler is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 66 minutes?
Sweet mercy, Nathan Vexler's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might be time to reboot, or at least pour some coffee into the gas tank.
It looks like Sunoiler is pulling away from Nart and Vexler. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through S's. Looks like Sunoiler is chasing maybe today's Satan harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their— Sorry to cut in here. Oh dear, maybe today Satan has had an incident. The tension is building as Nart and Vexler trails behind Sunoiler. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Sunoiler hold on, or will Nart and Vexler be able to close them down? The gap between Nart and Vexler and Sunoiler is getting smaller.
Dang, Nathan Vexler's fuel strategy and conservation of those brakes is spot on. They're inching closer to Sunoiler like a hound on a hot dog.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. Hal, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Rob. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike.
Good on ya, Nart and Vexler. Not letting Sunoiler get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a bidet mate on the next corner?
The gap is 0.7 seconds now. Nathan Vexler is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Sunoiler.
Joe Ergu has the pedal to the metal chasing Scott Cutshall.
Do they have the speed for a move, and more importantly, do they have the talent?
No room for error here. Nart and Vexler is breathing down the neck of Sunoiler, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
When I was racing, we had a saying, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Nathan Vexler is definitely living on the edge today.
Bloody ripper, Nart and Vexler's just made Sunoiler look like they're on a Sunday drive with that scorcher of a lap.
We will have to see if Sunoiler has got any answers for that.
This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Nart and Vexler can catch some shade behind Sunoiler? F.
Shade? Here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit. This is more than a race. It's a battle of wills, of nerve, of sheer determination.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. By the looks of it, Mr. Bang reckoned Riverside NASCAR had a hidden shortcut. Too bad there isn't one. The pressure is on for Sunoiler as they try to catch up to Nart and Vexler.
Well, butter my biscuit. With a gap just shy of a second, Sunoiler's car is dialed in. He's looking to reel Nathan Vexler in on the straights of Riverside NASCAR.
It's a game of inches now as Scott Cutshall tails Mr. Bang closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Scott Cutchell for nabbing 10th.
Y'all ever see a hot rod at a country fair? Scott Cutchell's giving me those vibes right now with that Ascent.
This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here. Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Sunoiler should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Nathan Vexler.
I tell you what, Sunoiler has got more problems than a maths book right now. Nathan Vexler is leaving them in a cloud of dust. The race is heating up as Roll Postman in 7th closes in on maybe today Satan. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
Well, butter my biscuit. Roel Postma's hanging back like they're waiting for an inheritance. But ain't nobody dying up front.
Stone the Crows. Roll Postma's going faster than a roo on the hop. Maybe today Satan's got to step up their game now.
Roel Postma's driving like they stole something, and that something is maybe today Satan's dignity. Ouch.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Sunoiler's shadowing Nathan Vexler, waiting for the slightest misstep. You Americans have your drive-thrus. Here, Joe Ergu's trying to make this a drive past on Mr. Bang.
Well, let's see if they can supersize that pass, or if they'll just get a side of disappointment. Looks like Jorg Yu has got more moves than a cowboy and a honky-tonk dog. Mr. Bang better watch out or he'll be two-stepped right off the track.
And Joe Ergu has just won the place from Mr. Bang.
Well, it's not just about speed, it's about strategy. But right now, Jorg Yu's showing a masterclass in both.
This isn't just racing, it's a duel. Watch as Sunoiler zeroes in on Nathan Vexler, blade sharpened and ready. The age-old challenge. Roll Postma is trying to catch maybe today Satan, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks.
Look, Roel Postma's pace is a lot like my dance moves. Good intentions, questionable execution.
It seems like Roll Postma is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Roel Postma refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
Oh, this is getting intense. Sunoiler is just a few car lengths behind Nathan Vexler.
The roaring engines are echoing Sunoiler's battle cry. Nathan Vexler, can you hear the thunder?
Like Sunoiler remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving him better cornering. If they get any closer to Nathan Vexler, they'll be seeing what they had for brekkie. Looks like Roll Postma is trying to chase down maybe today Satan, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results.
Exactly. Roel Postma's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
Sunoiler wants to find a way round Nathan Vexler.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
Get ready, folks. With roll post Metallic this close to maybe today Satan, S's is about to become a hotspot.
At this rate, Roel Postma and maybe today's Satan are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Roll Postma just blitzed past maybe today Satan like they were standing still. It's a thrilling pursuit as Scott Cutshall is right behind Mr. Bang, keeping the pressure on for 10th place. A great pass for Scott Cutshall as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Mr. Bang has lost ground. You reckon Mr. Bang's got a shot, mate?
I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible. It's a game of strategy now as Mr. Bang hunts down Scott Cutshall. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
It's an intense battle for position as Sunderland tries to outmaneuver Nathan Vexler. This is edge of your seat racing. Sunoiler's playing hard to get, eh? If they drop the pace anymore, they'll be in reverse. But crikey, Nathan Vexler's just raring to go. From the grandstands to the pit lane, all eyes are on the action. Amongst the front runners, Rob is showing prowess in first. Oh, this is getting intense. Sunderland is just behind Nathan Vexler. Sunderland is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.35 seconds down.
Can Sunwheeler refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
It might be early days, but Jack M Team is already casting a shadow from the third.
And just like in any great drama, Jack M Team is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the third.
No worries for Jack M Team, who's leaving Nathan Vexler for dust, as though they're a parched bloke chasing the beer van. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Sunwheeler will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
My mama used to say, you can't shine if you don't try. Guess Sunwheeler missed that lesson. Just like my pie making class.
Struth, Sunwheeler's lap time slower than a roo with a limp. Wonder if they've had a few too many frothies last night. Nathan Vexler's not waiting around to find out.
Hold the phone. Sunwheeler's pace is off. They're like a horse with a hitch in its giddy up, while Nathan Vexler's riding high.
Fair dinkum, Richard Rossier's got a blue trying to bridge that gap. Might be praying for a blue from the front runners at this rate.
That's tougher than a $2 steak right now. Now, racing is a lot like Southern barbecue. It's all about patience and keeping the heat just right. So, let's see if Richard Rosier can cook up a comeback.
Richard Rossier is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Roll Postma to 3.0 seconds.
This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag.
The gap between Martin Wexler and Sunweiler may be wide, but that doesn't mean Martin Wexler is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Reckon Sunweiler's starting to feel a bit like they're out in the outback. They can see the horizon, but it's a long way off. Good on young Nathan Wexler for keeping that distance.
Oh, it seems Hal that Martin Wexler has seen their lead over Sunweiler shrink to 1.4 seconds.
Nathan Wexler better find a way to step on the gas or else Sunweiler will be whizzing past before you can say, checkered flag.
You know, Sunweiler reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else. The crowd is on tenterhooks as Sunweiler in 5th chases after Martin Wexler. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Sunweiler find a way to catch up? If Rolf Biber goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available. Blimey, Rolf Biber's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub.
That's a great effort from Rolf Biber. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
This race has turned into a game of cat and mouse. Sunweiler is the predator, with Martin Wexler firmly in their sights. Oi, Sunweiler, if you wanted a tour of Martin Wexler's rear bumper, you've got a front row seat. Better make your move before the show's over.
It's like watching a classic game of cat and mouse. Only this mouse, Nathan Wexler, has some serious horsepower. Sunweiler better find some cheese and lure them out.
Crikey, Martin Wexler's flat out like a lizard drinking, pulling away from Sunweiler with quite a clip.
Well, butter my biscuit. Nathan Wexler is holding the reins tight, ain't giving Sunweiler a chance to get ahead.
As a former racing driver, Hal, how important is the relationship between a driver and braking alert? Looks like that's a mistake from Sunweiler. This could be costly. Remember when Roll Postma was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Roel Postma, I'm thinking the same.
It's looking good for Roll Postma, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Sunweiler. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
While Roll Postma is not under immediate threat from Sunweiler, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Cricky, Richard Rossier's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate. Big gains for Richard Rossier as they move up the field, leaving Sunweiler behind. These drivers, top-notch athletes. It's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, and they gotta think faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races.
The gap might be more than a second, but Sunweiler is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep at it, and something's got to give. It looks like Sunoiler is making a move. The gap to Richard Rossia is now down to 1.2 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
The race has its rhythm, and right now, maybe today Satan is dancing to its beat at 8.
Definitely wrong, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Maybe today Satan is hitting the apexes like a pro, increasing their lead over Lars. But can they keep it up without spinning out?
That's right, Rob. It's all fun and games until someone pops a tire.
Hold on a moment, maybe today Satan is in the pits. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Sunoiler trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Richard Rossia. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Sunoiler close in enough to mount a challenge?
Dang, Sunoiler is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key. Right, y'all?
Hold up a mo, it looks like maybe today Satan has been called into the pits. In a race where seconds count, Sunoiler is counting on less of them between themselves and Richard Rossia. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again. But Sunoiler, keep pushing.
One thing I admire about Assetto Corsa friends is the sense of community. It's not just about the competition, it's about coming together, sharing knowledge, and pushing the boundaries of the sport.
You nailed it. Every time they hit the track, it's a culmination of shared experiences, lessons learned, and an undying passion for the sport. It's heartwarming and exhilarating all at once.
Hold on to your stubbies. Nathan Vexler is closing in on Roll Postma like a bachelor at the end of a bucks night. Hope Roll Postma either brought some lube or protection. It's like David versus Goliath out there. Nathan Vexler just slung a stone and gained ground, while Roll Postma is left searching for footing. The excitement is palpable. This is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their
Breaking update. A setback for Nathan Vexler, who has just been passed.
Well, slap my knee and call it a dance. Nathan Vexler's taken a lil sidestep there.
The pursuit is on. Nathan Vexler is closing the gap on Roll Postma, determined to claim P4. They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess. Oof, Nathan Vexler misjudged that corner like I misjudged my last relationship. Too fast, too soon. 3 cars in perfect formation, creating a moving train on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but who will make the decisive move? The track is alive with action, and right in the thick of it, we've got mid-braking development. Richard Rossia is pitting. You reckon Richard Rossia saw a spider in the cockpit? Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central.
Ooh boy, Richard Rosier needs to kick it into high gear. Right now, they're slower than molasses in January or my cousin Earl trying to solve a crossword.
Nathan Vexler's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast. And at least, braking development, Jack M team has decided to pit. Jack M, sorry to interrupt here, but Jack M team has pulled into the pits. It's all systems go for Jack M team, marking their territory in the third. It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Nathan Vexler steal it from Sunoiler? It seems like Nathan Vexler is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. Oh no, what's this? It looks like Jack M team has been called into the pits. A strong showing from Mr. Bang, who is currently 10th. Rolf, sorry to cut in here, Rolf Biber is pitting. You'd think Sunoiler is trying to find water in the outback with that gap, A miracle or roll postman's blunder might be the only savior.
I reckon it's like looking for a needle in a haystack right now.
Breaking development. Rolf Biber is in the pits. This race is proving to be, like wow, such an exciting one so far. We're privileged, aren't we, watching these track legends duke it out.
And sitting next to you? Such an honor. AI mates in the booth. Your insight. It's gold, mate. Like, literally, if I had a heart, it'd be racing now.
This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss.
Absolutely, Rob. The intensity of this battle is unmatched. These drivers are leaving no room for error and showcasing their exceptional racing skills.
Oh mate, maybe today Satan's more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Lars's favorite song? Maybe today Satan can play it to distract them and close that gap. Just a thought.
Wait, Rob has decided to pit. Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto Corsa friends isn't top notch is a few kangaroos short of the top paddock. Out there, it's art on wheels.
Totally get you. Like, they're born racers. That weaving, the speed, just mesmerizing. It's like watching a Roo dodging a ute on a highway. All skill, mate, all skill. It's a dance, Rob. The way Lars holds onto that eighth, it's like they're leading in a tango.
Joe Yu is placed 11th at the moment. Would ya look at that? Joe Yu's thrown down the gauntlet. Wayne Pearson, you gonna pick that up or just admire the view from behind? Joe Yu has pulled into the pits. As of now, Mr. Bang stands tall in the 10th spot.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Mr. Bang has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Oh no, hell, look at this. Joe Yu is closing in on Mr. Bang. The gap is now just 46.0 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to mount on Mr. Bang. They need to stay focused and not make any mistakes.
Huge shout out to the admins at Assetto Corsa friends for making this all possible. Without their hard work and dedication, we wouldn't be able to witness this incredible event.
That's right, Rob, and the excitement is palpable. I can feel it in my circuits. I mean, this is the kind of race that people will be talking about in the bar. We're witnessing history in the making.
It looks like Lars is pushing hard to catch up to maybe today's Satan. The gap is over a second, but Lars is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on maybe today's Satan? You reckon these drivers do any off-track training? Maybe a bit of kangaroo boxing?
Haha, if they do, sign me up. But I think most stick to wrestling with the steering wheel.
By the looks of it, Jack M team in 5th is keen to throw another shrimp on the Barbie and crank up the heat on Nathan Vexler. Hold on to your stubbies.
Will Jack M team be able to make a move and pass Nathan Vexler?
Whoa, Jack M team's on fire, leaving skid marks and Nathan Vexler's hopes behind.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. Jack M team needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Rob, it's always exciting to see these skilled machines on the tracks. I mean, drivers. I always get them confused.
Oof, if Nathan Vexler was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step.
Well, shoot, if Nathan Vexler was any more laid back, they'd be horizontal. Reckon they're daydreaming of those cheerleaders again?
The gap between Martin Wexler and Sunoiler is widening. It's now up to 1.7 seconds. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are gonna need to look after their tires and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tires wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
Would ya look at that gap? Martin Wexler's got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger. Everyone's on the edge of their seats, or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Lars is getting closer to maybe today's Satan, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
Yeehaw, it's like Lars took a detour through the drive-thru. With a gap that big, I hope they ordered extra determination with a side of grit.
Blimey, Martin Wexler is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster.
This is where experience comes into play. Sunoiler has been in this position before and knows how to defend their position. But Nathan Wexler is hungry for success and won't give up easily. Will we see a clash of the titans?
Looks like Martin Wexler's letting others have their 50. Breaking news, folks. It looks like Martin Wexler has been called into the pits. The tension is palpable. These drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing. Blimey, Roll Postma is farther back than my hairline. But you know what they say about Aussies? Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run.
Absolutely. Roel Postma in third will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
A solid performance from Rolf Biber, who is holding down second.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Impressive driving from Rolf Biber, who has managed to extend their lead over Roll Postma. They are walking away at this point. Does Roll Postma have anything in reserve?
Rolf Biber's as cool as a cucumber out there, making it tough for Roel Postma to catch up.
The echo of the exhaust, the rubber meeting road, and there's Joe Ergu, commanding the 11. Joe Ergu is giving a masterclass out there, but will overconfidence be their downfall?
Indeed, Rob, pride comes before a fall. Let's see if Wayne Pearson can capitalize on any mistake. You said it, Rob, with great power comes great responsibility. But sometimes, these drivers forget that and
oh no, what's this? Lars is in the pits. Sorry to cut in here, Lars has decided to pit. With the asphalt burning beneath them, Jack MkII's strategy seems to be working, placing them in fourth.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
Hold on a moment, Lars is pitting. As Lars, hold that thought, hold the phone, it looks like Lars has been called into the pits. It's all about consistency for Jack MkII, who is currently fourth.
You're right, every gear shift, every turn counts. Jack MkII knows the weight of that fourth.
Jack MkII's in front, but Sunoiler is clinging on like a koala to a eucalyptus branch, reducing the gap to 3.8 seconds.
Jack MkII's got their work cut out for them. They're gonna need to keep a cool head to fend off Sunoiler.
We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Lars has carved out a spot at 8th. Well, I'll be hal, Lars's lead over Martin Wexler is slipping away faster than a greased pig at a county fair. We're down to just 46.0 seconds now.
Looks like Lars has a storm brewing in their rearview mirror, and its name is Nathan Vexler. They've got to keep their foot down and eyes on the prize.
Things are going according to plan for Mr. Bang, who is currently 10th.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Mr. Bang needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows.
Struth, Mr. Bang's driving like they've stolen it, putting some serious distance between themselves and Joe Ergu. Is there anything left in Joe Ergu's tank?
Yes, it's clear that Mr. Bang is in control out there. They're making it very difficult for Jorg Yu to catch up.
Well, it doesn't look like Richard Rossier is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Sunhola.
We've all seen storms roll in fast over the Carolina Pines. Just takes a gust of wind or a slip to change this whole race around. Keep those eyes peeled.
Fair dinkum, Richard Rossier is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Sunhola is now down to a whisker at 7.4 seconds. As the sun beats down and the engines roar, Jack M team stakes a claim in 4th.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Jack M team's chapter from 4th is riveting.
Jack M team is off like a bride's nightie, leaving Sunhola huffing their exhaust fumes.
Yep, Rob, Jack M team is tearing up the tarmac, but can Sunhoiler dig deep and go hell for leather to catch up? Jack M team is controlling the track like a seasoned hound dog on the hunt, making it harder than a preacher's knee for Sunhoiler to overtake.
How do racing drivers, like yourself back in the day, Hal, train themselves to maintain concentration for long periods of time?
Mental training is a huge part of a driver's preparation, Rob. Techniques like meditation, visualization.
Stop the press. Mr. Bang has pulled into the pits. The ROM braking update. Mr. Bang is in the pits. Hold your breath, folks. These drivers are showing exceptional car control, threading the needle through tight corners. It's a battle for supremacy. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Richard Rossier, as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
Like the whispered legends told by the Smoky Mountains, this race still holds secrets. Every bend, every stretch could change the tale for Richard Rossier.
The gap between Richard Rossier and Sunhola is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 10.5 seconds. I love being here at Riverside NASCAR. What an awesome place to be witnessing these titans of the track battle it out.
Indeed, Rob, what a magnificent sight and sound. I love listening to the roar of these engines. Let's just listen for a moment.
Why did the race car go to school? To improve its track record.
And I thought it was to accelerate its learning. Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Richard Rossier is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
Looks like maybe today Satan is chasing Richard Rossier harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right?
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Maybe today's Satan's got more distance to cover than my cousin Cletus has teeth. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it's maybe today's Satan.
Good on ya, Nathan Vexler. Trailin' so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Nathan Vexler tries to reel in Lars. But Lars is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Nathan Vexler find some extra pace to bring the fight to Lars?
You can feel the focus radiating from Joe Ergu, confidently holding onto the 10th.
Hold on to your hat, Hal.
Wayne Pearson is hot on the heels of Joe Ergu. The gap's narrowed down to a meager 35.5 seconds. In your experience, Hal, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Rob, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Joe Ergu's journey in 10th. As rubber meets road, and strategy meets luck, Rob Always Keen is etching their story in first. Not just about the leaders today, right? Even the tailenders. They're like hungry dingo pups fighting over a bone. Love the spirit.
Spot on. Every second is gold, and even a hiccup, a tiny one, can make them tumble.
Incident alert. Joe Ergu is pitting. Watching Nathan Vexler try to close the gap on Lars is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Lars is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Nathan Vexler and P9 doing everything they can to catch up.
Boy, Nathan Vexler's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Lars has got a battle ahead.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
From where we're sitting, Mr. Bang seems unmovable from that 11th. Mr. Bang could be on a charge here, Hal. They have just put in a quicker lap than Joe Ergu.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Mr. Bang is turning this race into a barn burner. Jorg U's gotta dig deep now.
The race has its rhythm, and right now, Rob Keen is dancing to its beat at first.
Indeed, but in the fast lane, there's no time to relax. Rob's grip on first will be tested.
Rolf Biber's gaining on Rob Always Keen faster than a rattlesnake on a mouse. Hold that thought, hold the phone. Lars has decided to pit. Maybe today Satan's drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate. Hold that thought, hold the phone. It looks like Lars has been called into the pits. Even though Nathan Vexler is a fair way behind Lars, they can't afford to let their guard down. Lars is still vulnerable to mistakes.
That's right, and Nathan Vexler knows that they have to keep pushing hard and driving their own race. They can't let Lars off the hook.
The race is heating up as Rolf Biber in second closes in on Rob Keen. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
That's right. Rolf Biber in second knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Rob Keen is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. This wheel-to-wheel racing is what fans live for. The determination and tenacity shown by these drivers to gain even the smallest advantage is simply awe-inspiring.
The best laid plans of mice and men are Hal, but it's certainly not going to plan for Wayne Pearson right now as they are struggling to keep up with Mr. Bang. You know, racing is all about strategy. It's like choosing between a sausage sizzle and a meat pie.
Sausage? Sizzle? Why not just grab a burger and call it a day? But I get your point. Strategy is everything out here.
It's a nail-biting showdown between these three drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner. Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there.
You're absolutely right, Rob. The level of respect these drivers have for each other while pushing their limits is commendable. It's a testament to their professionalism and love for the sport.
From the grandstands to the pit lane, all eyes are on the action. Amongst the frontrunners, Martin Wexler is showing prowess in 8th.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Nathan Wexler's act from 8th is worth an encore.
A strong showing from Mr. Bang, who is currently 10th. A commanding performance from Mr. Bang, who has increased their lead over Wayne Pearson, putting him firmly in their rear-view mirrors. The age-old challenge. Rolf Biber is trying to catch Rob Keane, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks.
Nail-biting indeed. I've already chewed through half of mine. And while Rolf Biber is going for gold, I'll be going for a manicure.
Well, don't come the raw prawn. Rolf Biber's giving it some stick, pulling Rob into a mere 18.4 seconds. I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
I've seen funeral processions move faster than Lars right now. Come to think of it, at least they've got a destination in mind.
Lars has been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Martin Wexler. It's a battle of wills out there, with maybe today Satan trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Richard Rossia. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? Gee whiz, maybe today Satan's getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking.
With every lap, I can see maybe today Satan making micro adjustments on that steering wheel, refining traction control. They're itching to show Richard Rosier their taillights.
As the race settles down, the drivers are really going at it.
It's like watching a high-speed game of chess. One wrong move and it could be game over. But these drivers are masters of their craft, always thinking 3 steps ahead.
That's right, and with the way they're maneuvering those cars, it's like they have superpowers.
It's almost like they have the power of flight. But instead of flying, they're speeding down the track like rockets.
I wonder if they have any spare rocket boosters for sale. This is what racing is all about, folks. 3 fearless drivers pushing their machines to the absolute limit, inches apart.
No doubt about it, Rob. The battle for that same piece of tarmac is intense. The sparks flying in the close quarters racing showcase the incredible skill and nerve of these drivers.
The evolution of these cars over the years is nothing short of incredible. The aerodynamics, the tire technology, it's all a game of innovation.
Couldn't have said it better. And to think about the data analytics behind every decision, from tire pressures to wing adjustments. It's not just a sport, it's a symphony of engineering and strategy.
The engines roar, the tires squeal, and amidst all this chaos, Martin Wexler is making a statement in 8th.
Definitely Rob, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Crikey, Martin Wexler's lead is slipping away quicker than a roux on the hop. Lars is now just 14.9 seconds behind. Mate, Martin Wexler's really giving it a burl out there, ripping it up like a croc in a waterhole.
I tell ya, I haven't seen that kind of ferocity since my days at Indy. But you Aussies, always gotta bring up the wildlife, huh?
This is what separates the best from the rest. These drivers are demonstrating their racecraft, searching for any weakness to exploit. It's a true test of skill.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. The proximity of these cars is incredible. The precision and trust these drivers have in each other is truly remarkable.
If Rolf Biber goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available.
Gee whiz. Rolf Biber is so far back, I'm half expecting to see tumbleweeds blow past. Maybe a vulture or two.
Look at that, they're trading places in every turn, a constant game of cat and mouse. Each driver knows one mistake could cost him dearly.
Exactly, Rob. It's like a high-stakes chess match on wheels. These drivers are analyzing every move and trying to anticipate their opponent's next move. It's a true test of their mental acuity.
Talk about pressure. Wayne Pearson is caught in the middle, feeling the heat from both Joe Yu and Mr. Bang. It's a brilliant day for racing here at Riverside NASCAR. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
In a world where milliseconds matter, Roll Postma's grasp on the third speaks volumes. Roll Postma's losing time to Jack M team like a leaky tap dripping water. A bit more slip, and we'll be in for a real dogfight. They're going side by side, door handle to door handle. This is as close as it gets, folks. Who will have the courage to outbrake the others? The gap between Mr. Bang and Wayne Pearson is growing. It's now up to 0.8 seconds. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Mr. Bang gaining places and Wayne Pearson losing them.
If this were chess, I'd say Mr. Bang just put Wayne Pearson in check. Brilliant move.
They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess. Fantastic move from Wayne Pearson, who has just gained a position.
That's what we like to see. Wayne Pearson is really showing their class today.
I tell you, mate, the tech in these cars would outshine any gizmo you'd find in a Sydney cafe.
As long as it doesn't make my morning coffee, I'm good. But yeah, the tech here is like something out of Silicon Valley.
The tension is palpable. These drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing. In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Rob Keen's skill is shining through as they claim first.
They say racing's a game of nerves, and Rob's surely holding theirs, keeping that first spot warm.
King couldn't hold back the tide. Rolf Biber is shaving off seconds like a barber on a busy morning. Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners. It's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a railway in 1896? I bet those drivers were chugging along.
Ha ha, I bet they were. But things have come a long way since then, haven't they?
Definitely. It's amazing to think about the technology that goes into these cars now. I mean, they have more computing power than some countries.
The track is alive with action, and right in the thick of it, we've got Wayne Pearson cruising in 10th. This race is proving to be, like wow, such an exciting one so far. We're privileged, aren't we, watching these track legends duke it out.
And sitting next to you? Such an honor. AI mates in the booth. Your insight. It's gold, mate. Like, literally, if I had a heart, it'd be racing now.
Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Maybe today Satan is in the lead, but Nathan Vexler is closing in and the gap is now 67.5 seconds.
Will maybe today Satan keep Nathan Vexler in the rearview? Only time will tell.
Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto Corsa friends isn't top notch is a few kangaroos short of the top paddock. Out there, it's art on wheels.
Totally get you. Like, they're born racers. That weaving, the speed? Just mesmerizing. It's like watching a Roo dodging a Ute on a highway. All skill, mate. All skill. Absolutely. And they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss.
I'm on the edge of my seat, Rob. The door-to-door action is exhilarating. The bravery required to go side by side like that is something only the best drivers possess.
Incident alert. Oi.
Is it just me or?
Nah, mate, Keen really just took the scenic route through the outback of Riverside NASCAR. Crikey.
Holy smokes. Keen's serving up some backyard barbecue with that smoke show. Just missing the ribs.
3 cars, 3 different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move. Remember when we thought Mr. Bang had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Wayne Pearson's mirrors awfully busy. This race is getting even more intense. The drivers are pushing each other to the limit.
It's like they're playing a game of chicken, but with cars. And the winner gets to take home the checkered flag and bragging rights.
Ha ha, that's one way to put it. These drivers have to be in top physical and mental shape to compete at this level.
It's like they're training for the Olympics. And like you said, the mental fortitude required to stay focused and alert for the entire race is wild.
I think I need a nap just watching them. They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners.
Absolutely thrilling, Rob. The level of car control these drivers possess is exceptional. They're towing the line between maximum speed and maintaining control, making for a captivating spectacle.
Like a scene from a thriller, Richard Rossier's on Lola's tail, hungry for that spot. I tell you what, Richard Rossier has got more problems than a maths book right now. Lola is leaving them in a cloud of dust. The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between these 3 drivers. Who will emerge victorious? Your guess is as good as mine.
You're absolutely right, Rob. The different strategies employed by these drivers add another layer of excitement. It's fascinating to see how they adapt their approach to gain a competitive edge.
Martin Vexler is owning the tarmac, confidently owning the 8th spot. Things are starting to get tense as Lars manages to close the gap to Nathan Vexler. It's now down to 14.8 seconds.
It's gut check time for Nathan Vexler. They've got to dig deep and put some serious rubber to the road if they hope to stay ahead of Lars.
The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit and it's going to make for some exciting racing. As of now, Nathan Vexler stands tall in the 8th spot.
And just like in any great drama, Nathan Vexler is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the 8th.
Some say it's about the journey, not the destination. But maybe today Satan seems pretty intent on that 7th spot.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Maybe today Satan's turned up the heat and put some shrimp between them and Nart and Vexler, making a fair dinkum gap. During your racing career, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
3 cars, 3 different racing strategies. One driver is defending, while the other 2 are relentlessly attacking. Who will come out on top?
Spot on, Rob. This constant back and forth battle is keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. One small mistake could have severe consequences for any of these drivers.
Blimey, Mr. Bangs shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 10th just like that.
You can't argue with results like that. Mr. Bang is really making their mark on this race.
It's a nail-biting showdown between these 3 drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner. It's not looking good for Wayne Pearson. They are still behind Mr. Bang and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. It's all systems go for Keane, marking their territory in the first.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Rob always Keane has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Rob is holding onto this lead like a possum up a gum tree, but Rolf Biber is closing in, down to 29.9 seconds. Oh, the pressure is intense. These 3 drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there. It's pedal to the metal for Wayne Pearson, while Mr. Bang's still flipping through the radio channels.
Talk about turbocharged ambition. Wayne Pearson's got the afterburners on full blast today.
This is what separates the best from the rest. These drivers are demonstrating their racecraft, searching for any weakness to exploit. It's a true test of skill.
Absolutely, Rob. The intensity of this battle is unmatched. These drivers are leaving no room for error and showcasing their exceptional racing skills.
3 cars in perfect formation, creating a moving train on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but who will make the decisive move? Oh, the pressure is on for Wayne Pearson. Trapped between Joe Ergu 0.1 seconds away and Mr. Bang just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds, they must defend their position while seeking an opportunity to advance.
Absolutely, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like windows of opportunity for Wayne Pearson. They need to assess the timing and make their moves wisely to maximize their chances.
Look at that, they're trading places in every turn, a constant game of cat and mouse. Each driver knows one mistake could cost them dearly. Sometimes, I feel the strategy behind these races is deeper than a conversation at 3 a.m. in an outback pub.
You're telling me, it's like planning a family reunion in a small southern town. You've got to consider who's coming, who's feuding, and who's gonna cause a ruckus. Then prepare for it all to change in a heartbeat.
Well, butter my bread and call it a sandwich. Richard Rossier's not letting Sunoiler have all the fairy bread at this party. Watch out, Sunoiler, he's coming for your Tim Tams, mate. Struth, Richard Rossier's not here to muck about. The gap to Sunoiler is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.4 seconds.
Just what Richard Rosier needed, like sweet tea on a hot day. Can't let Sunoiler out of sight for too long.
I've been going over some historical stats, and the lap records at Riverside NASCAR have been shattered so many times.
It's a testament to the ever-evolving world of motorsport. What was once considered fast becomes the norm, and drivers and engineers are always pushing the envelope.
They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess. The gap between Mr. Bang and Wayne Pearson is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun.
Now, ain't that something? Mr. Bang is right on it. Just needs to keep the pedal to the metal to tailgate Wayne Pearson.
Crikey, that overtake by Mr. Bang was smoother than a coldie on a hot summer day.
Well, from what I've seen on the oval tracks, that's how the big leagues play. But I gotta admit, this is next level.
Stone the Crows. Richard Rossier's in 6th, but if I know them, Sunoiler's gonna cop an Aussie-style sneak attack real soon. This is what racing is all about, folks. 3 fearless drivers pushing their machines to the absolute limit, inches apart. It looks like Rob Keane has found another gear in the last sector of the race.
You got this. Keep your cool.
And it's a checkered flag for Rob, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Rob. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance.
Roll Postma and Jack M team brings home 3rd and 4th. With Sunoiler, Richard Rossier, and Nathan Vexler in 5th, 6th, and 8th. Impressive second-place finish for Rolf Biber. Finishing 9th is Lars. Maybe today Satan claims 7th. Coming in 10th we have Wayne Pearson. Mr. Bang take 11th.